Hi guys, it's Tokyo, and we have to talk about Donald Trump and his quote unquote lewd comments that he made about a married woman 10 years ago. Now, this is something that I can't figure out. It seems like this, you know, this this puritanical facade that we have in the United States is just getting to be too much, even for 2016. Now, Donald Trump says on a tour bus 10 years ago that he, there was a particular woman that he wanted to try to pick up and go out with and date. And he said he would have grabbed this and he tried to do this. And if you do this, then you'll get this response. Now, some people may not like his comments, and some people may. I'm a woman, and I'm just going to be straight up with you. And I work, or I have worked. We'll see, in different areas of the adult industry, different areas as far as writing, just different areas. This is how men talk. This is how men talk when they are amongst men. Donald Trump didn't have on a microphone. He wasn't giving a lecture, and he wasn't giving tips on how to grab this and how to approach a married woman. He said this, and what I would like to say was confidence. He was with a group of men, and they were talking privately and personally, and he was just sharing an experience or a situation. He was recalling a memory and giving details on the situation. And people are saying that he needs to apologize. What does he need to apologize for? Talking like a man? I'm sorry, but it's almost like the U.S. is from another country. You can be conservative all you want, and I'm politically conservative, but still I'm an alternative female. We'll get to what people may not understand about that. But Donald Trump is a man, he's a heterosexual man. And at this time, he wasn't married to Melania. He was probably divorced from Ivanka or Ivana. Sorry, don't get the names, have the names switched around. But he was a single man, and he was dating. Now, I can see if you have issues and say, well, the woman he was speaking of was married. Okay, fine. I can accept that. But male and female convey um, or express desires that of a sexual nature. We all do, male, female, trans, whatever gender you want to choose. We all have sexual desires. And he was just communicating them in conversation and what I think he thought was in private conversation, which it wasn't. But what do you expect him to say? And he needs to drop out of the race because he was sexually attracted to another woman. None of this, absolutely none of this makes sense. And why would it be okay for maybe a football player, maybe someone who works at Whole Foods, someone who, Larry King, or an actor to say something like this, but not a presidential nominee? Okay, he's a politician, but he's still a man. Before he's all of that, before he's a mogul, before he's a multimillionaire, before he's a billionaire, before he's white even, before he's white, he's a man. He's a man. And this is how men think. And I know a lot of people, or especially women in 2016, don't want to, women are in denial about this, and men don't like to admit it to women for fear that they won't get with women. But the truth of the matter is that this is how men talk, this is how men think. Men are more sexual than females, biologically speaking. They have more ravenous biological needs than us females do. That's a fact. We can overlook it and we can be modern women and we can be 2016 all we want, but the fact still remains that that is the truth. And all he was doing was expressing his desire. As I said before, If you want to have issue with the fact that the woman he was talking about was married, fine, be it, I'll be it. We can go there. However, him just saying, oh, I wanted to grab this and I was interested in doing this and that, it makes no sense for him to have to drop out of the presidential election for that. Really? Like, how much of, I mean, like I said, that sounds very puritanical. It sounds very religious. You know, and we have to question, what do we want from our political leaders? What do we want from our politicians? Do we want them to do the work of government, or do we want them to be perfect people? Because you can't have both, and there's no such thing as a perfect person, if you understand what I'm saying. So I'm going to do a video actually on that, discussing what is it that we want from our political leaders, because this situation actually brings that to home, because none of this really makes sense when you think about it. He needs to drop out because he expressed attraction. Now, what would the response be if he made the same comments towards a man or towards his wife? What would the response be, or the reaction be, if Donald Trump made these same comments but about his wife? Does it make a difference if he's married to the person that he is saying this about? Does it matter about the gender? Or does it matter that, or is the problem just that he made the comments, period? Because if that is the issue, that he thinks like this or that he speaks like this, then the problem is not his, the problem is yours, in the fact that you're living in a fairy tale world in 2016. Well, a fairy tale world, period. Period. The progression of civilization is what keeps men's mouths closed for the most part about their desires and about their biological functions and expressing and conveying these messages. The progression of civilization, but 100, 200 years ago, you know, the treatment of women, we already know it. We can look at women's history and women's studies about, you know, how boisterous and just how feral men acted, you know, in regards to women and sex 100, 200 years ago. So we really need to figure out what really is the problem. Are these comments really lewd? What do we have an issue with? That he would think like this and be a politician? Of course he would. And it makes me think of the Anthony Weiner situation as well. That's a loaded situation, but what do we want from our politicians? Do we want Jesus in the flesh to make decisions about government? Or do we want men and women who work in the government, in a government structure, in a government facilities, doing work for the people? You know, enforcing laws, creating laws, helping to keep the economy and trade and business and immigration safe. What is it that we really want? So I'm going to close out this video. You guys can leave a comment, rate, and subscribe, and let me know what you think about Donald Trump's lewd comments.